Hi everybody, it's Ryan Motter here talking about pain and exercise. This is a tough one. Gonna try not to overwhelm you all with too much information, but definitely want to hit on specific points, and I'm sure some of the stuff I'm talking about 180% pertains to you. First, we all go through different kind of pains in our life, whether it's low back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain, feet, metatarsal, whatever it is. We all, at some way, shape, or form, have probably hyperextended something, strained something, popped a vertebrae out, whatever it is. How do we use exercise to correct these things and help these things? And it can be very basic, but also can be incredibly intensive. And sometimes it's the area, you have to understand what is hurt, or if it's the nervous system that's quote unquote hurt. What I'm talking about is, basic back pain. If you lose weight, does back pain go away? Yeah, a lot of times. But if there's a specific manipulation of some of the muscles, like your erector spinae or the long muscle, the muscles that protect the spine, if we have overstretched them or misused them in any way, shape, or form other than protecting the spine, sometimes there's a physical manipulation there. So how do we correct these different postures in our exercise? Sometimes we say, if I run 3 miles, I get this pain in there. Is that because we're running wrong or using proper form? A lot of times, yes, but sometimes the body just has different trigger points in its nervous system to just stop you. It's saying, okay, look, this is just my way of saying, all right, too much. And how to read these things, and it's incredibly tough, to understand this. But I'm big into form. I've studied biomechanics incredibly intensively, and from vectors and levers and just kind of these very intensive ideas of physics in the human body. So I can't explain to you how important form is in lifting. I'll use a prime example of my one client who wanted to increase his bench press the other week, and I've been working with him for probably about a year and a half, and this guy's built unbelievable. I mean, he looks like something out of a Calvin Klein magazine. He's built fantastic. He does all the right things. But, funny enough, the better we advance his body, the more wrong we find out about him, and that's the way it works. I can name about 120 things wrong with me, but that's because I'm in tune to what I'm doing, and I understand the different physiological responses I'm getting from these pains. So he's trying to get his bench better, and we can't figure out what's stopping him. Before we saw there was he had a hip turn and drop, which took us about a year to correct because, it took him a year of maybe sitting wrong at his desk, overusing a certain pattern all the time. Whether it was in grade school, just kind of letting his shoulder drop and writing all the time and just moving the way he's not supposed to, created some of these deficiencies. So I'm watching him bench press. I'm thinking, what is going on? Why can I not increase some of these weights and resistances? And it clicked. I was watching the way his right tricep was firing. He'd move his hand, he'd lock his shoulder, almost like a protective way of an impingement. And so I started asking about the way he sleeps, and that didn't. And then we start putting stuff together. Like I started having him go real slow, and I noticed the bar went down just slightly uneven and a little more to the left, and he was overloading his left side. I said, "Pal, you're not using your right side at all. All it's doing is a following up mechanism." So he was overusing that one side. So feet placement, hip placement, and hand placement all determine the equalness of the side you're using. So we start putting stuff together and lessen the weight and start going through the form. And this workout just annihilates him. I mean, it just destroys him. And the light bulb went off. But because we corrected his hips, what saw is how we saw the shoulder and the triceps not firing. So now we have to go through that motion to try to increase that. Same thing with people have back pain. Sometimes their foot goes, from driving all the time, you let your foot fall off to the right, and you're not used to using your right leg. Well, that's a huge muscle you're not using in contraction, which could help your metabolism. You're not using your right muscle at all. You're torquing your hips because you're running left side. Are your feet straight when you're running? How's your head posture? How's your retraction of your shoulders? Where your ab placement? Is your chest up where it needs to be? All this stuff matters in exercise. So I don't care how far you run. I want to know the work efficiency, how you're doing it. How many muscles are you using contracting? How high is your heart rate going up? And if you do this stuff right, it'll absolutely help your pain. Unless there's a specific problem that's, we can't control, like a broken bone or something like that. But 9 times out of 10, the proper corrective postural exercises will make stuff go away 9 times out of 10. But and there's other mechanisms to work with pain too. You can see I'm not against chiropractors. They're magnificent, particularly if you have an issue that they can help, misalignment or any restored nervous system. Massage therapists are magnificent for, people who are like this and type and overstrain their muscles all the time, to just open up muscle pathways that they can absorb nutrients again and get better. But that's just some things to think about, guys. Work smarter, not harder. I don't care how much you bench. I don't care how much you lift. Don't care how many pull-ups you do. Don't care how far you run. I want to know how much of your body is active in doing so and if it's doing it efficiently. So let's measure the right objectives. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.